It's time for us to get into a personality segment, and today, the personality for today is a man who wears a million different hats. So incredible. I mean, the various facets of life that he has excelled in. Let me introduce him to you. He's Professor Emmanuel Ohene Afoakwa. He's the Vice Chancellor of Ghana Communication Technology University. And we're going to get into a conversation with him and find out all the different hats he wears and if life always, this is how it has always been or not. What is the path? What's the journey? What's the lessons we can learn? Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you are not just a Vice Chancellor, you are a chief.
Yes.
You do different things.
Exactly.
How do you balance all the various things you have to do? How do you balance academia, traditional leadership, and all of that?
Consultancy,
yeah,
research.
And all those things that you do.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm very excited to be with you here this morning. And I think it's all about planning.
Okay.
It's all about planning. Because irrespective of the fact that you are a Vice Chancellor, doesn't mean that you can't take on any other roles. So I was even installed as a chief prior to my appointment as the president of the Ghana Technology University College,
Okay.
And then following the promulgation of the Ghana Communication Technology University Bill passed by Parliament into an act in 2020, I became the first Vice Chancellor of the Ghana Communication Technology University. Okay. So I was actively into teaching and research whilst I was at the University of Ghana, and then consultancy. And then when I was brought to GTUC, I became the president of the institution. And later when we became a fully fledged university, I was appointed as the first Vice Chancellor of the university. So planning is key. As to whatever you do, you need to ensure that you have a vision and then you plan towards your events and your activities toward the achievement of the vision. But most importantly, it's also important that you have a team that has the requisite expertise that will support what you do. So both at the university and also at home, as a traditional leader, I ensure that I work together with my team. So at the university, you know, I'm a Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Robert Hensen, Registrar Mr. Emmanuel Bedu, Director of Finance Mr. Ernest Apraku. And all these are experienced and seasoned professionals in their respective areas. And then we have a governance body, the University Council, that is under the leadership of Emeritus Professor Kofi Awusabo Asare. And he's a very experienced person, and I call him my father because he believes in me. And then he guides, protects, and ensures that whatever I'm doing for the university is in line with the achievement of the vision that I've set for myself. And it gives me every support. And then back home as well, I have a team. I have about 40 sub-chiefs under me. Because I'm the main chief of Fiapre. Traditional area. And then we have other towns. In Bono region. So Sunyani. And then the next town after Sunyani, on your way from Sunyani to Brekum Doma, the next town after Sunyani. So once you go out of the Bono residency, is Fiapre, from the SDA Hospital, University of Energy and Natural Resources, down to the main town. It's all my town. So it's becoming a bigger town now. And I have over 40 sub-chiefs under me, and I ensure that I delegate authority because you can't be there all the time. So they also support me. So there's a Kuntihne that I have a queen mother who is called Nana Amisa Susubrebi. The second, she is not in Ghana at the moment. She is in the US, but she is always with us in spirit. And then the Country who is like an assistant, director assistant, is also very, very, very active.
Okay.
Providing every support that I need. It's called Nana Dunyana Kusi the second,
Okay.
and then other chiefs and queens.
Fantastic.
So they all work towards the vision that I have.
I think the automatic question that comes is, how did it all begin for you? Because all of this has developed over time.
Over a long time.
Where were you born?
So I was born in Sunyani.
Okay.
My parents were living in Sunyani at the time, and I was born in Sunyani Regional Hospital.
Okay.
At that time, now is a municipal hospital now, on the 5th of May 1970. So now I'm 53 years.
Okay.
By Joseph Ohene Afoakwa, my father, belated, may his soul rest in peace. And then my mother, Margaret Ohene Afoakwa, their maiden name was Margaret Mansa, but she is Margaret Ohene Afoakwa. And my father had other wives and other children, so we're 18 in all.
Oh, wow.
And my mother had 3, so I was the first. I'm the first, and then there are other two ladies after me. So I was born in Sunyani. I started school in a rapid preparatory school in Sunyani. As at the time, in the 70s, when we were at Rapid, it used to be at the Bono Regional Police Headquarters, behind that block. That was where the school was situated, but now it's been moved to a new site. And I started school in 1976. When I was 6, went through Rapid, and I completed Rapid in 82. And I passed Common Entrance examination. At the time, we were writing Common Entrance, getting admission to the secondary schools to do your O-level. You write GC O-level, and then you pass, you go to sixth form to do the GC A-level. So I passed, but in 1982, when I passed, my father, who used to be very rich, was not financially sound. Yeah, because he was a businessman and he was a farmer. And if you have heard or you know, in 1979, 81, Rollins came and there was a revolution. And it brought down many businesses and businessmen were really affected, and my father was heavily affected. So in 82, when I passed Common Entrance and I was supposed to go to secondary school, he wasn't financially sound. So I had discussions with my mom, and we thought that, well, instead of staying at home and not go to school, I should go to middle school and be able to write the middle school Form 4 living certificate examination. And when I pass, at least, I will get one certificate in my box. So we went to see the Presbyterian school headmaster, head teacher at that time. And then he admitted me because he conducted a short test and realized that I was a very intelligent boy. So he took me straight to Form 4. At the age of 12.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
He sent me straight to Form 4 at the age of 12. So to prepare me to be able to write the middle school living certificate examination. And I was just 12. And at that time, those who were in Form 4 were between the ages of like 18 and 22, adults. And look at this little boy in the midst of these older young men and women. And I was intelligent, so we didn't.
But were you not intimidated?
I wasn't intimidated because I was very intelligent.
So you're going to use your brains to outwit them anyway.
Yes. I was very confident about the fact that I was sharp, and therefore, finding myself in the middle of these adults, I will still perform when it comes to academics. But I was protected also because my Queen Mother, who is about 5 years older than me, 6 years older than me, is a twin. And so she and her twin sister were in that class. And then they found their younger cousin coming into that class. So I was heavily protected by them.
That's good.
And it helped me. So when we sat for the first time examination, within the next 2 months, I was first. It was like, wow, this small
the 12-year-old was first among 18-year-olds.
All the 18, 20-year-olds. And it was like, this is incredible. So they carried me from the school, from the Fear Presbyterian School, right to my home.
Wow.
It was like, it was.
So at that age of 12, you were already experiencing the celebration, the pomp and pageantry of chieftaincy. They were carrying you, aloft.
Not knowing what you're going to become
Amazing.
in the future. So I decided I wrote the common entrance examination again, passed, and then we sat for the middle school living certificate examination, and I passed as well. But I realized after middle school, what do I do? Am I still going to stay at home? I said no. So even though I passed and got admission to a boarding school, I still thought that it would not be prudent for me to approach my father, whose financial situation is still the same, not too good, to say I want to go to a boarding school. So I had a plan.
Okay.
And at every stage of my life, I've always planned.
Okay.
And it will marvel you. I decided that I have to find a secondary school to attend. So I realized there was a day secondary school in Sunyani called the Sunyani Day Secondary School.
Okay.
So they don't write common entrance, they write an entrance examination. When you pass, you get selected, and then they admit you.
Okay.
So then I decided to save some money so that I'll be able to use the money saved to register for the entrance examination, write the entrance. When I pass, then I can go to the day school. So I sat for it, and I saved my little money for lunch. 5p. At that time.
Wow.
That was given to me. 5 pesos. So saved it for 2 weeks. I got about 40 pesos, and then I registered for the entrance examination. Without my father, my mother not knowing anything, all by myself. Then I sat the exam. Out of about 400 candidates that sat for the exam, when the results came, I was third. And then I received the admission letter, and I showed it to my father. Well, I've gained admission to Sunyani Day Secondary School, and that I'm very much aware of your financial situation. So at least I will get a chance to attend secondary school and start secondary education from home. And he understood me, he supported me, and I started school. So when I started Sunyani Day Secondary School, that was in 1983. Well, we, after 82, sat for the middle school certificate examination in 83, and then later part of 83, I started September 83. And then when I started school, I realized the first person and the second person did not show up because they had gained admission to other schools. So the 240 students that were admitted, I was first. That had been enrolled for the Sunyani Day Secondary School first year. I was first. So I was called by the headmaster at that time. Used to be this Honorable Amankwa, who used to be, he later became the Minister of Works. So he was a headmaster at that time. So after a week in school, he called me and said, well, for this school, always the first person who is admitted is given a scholarship. So here you are going to be given a Ghana Cocoa Board scholarship for your education. So then I wouldn't have to even pay any fees. So I started school, went through. The first term, I was first. Second term, I was first. Third term, I was first. Second year, first term, I was first. Second term, I was first. Incidentally, yesterday, I had a visitor in my office who happened to be the person who was second all the time when I was first. And he's now a colonel in the army. Colonel Idi Samson. He came to visit me yesterday, and he told my office staff that this man, he was so intelligent, I could never beat him. I was wondering what he was writing on his examination papers. I did everything possible to so that I beat him, but I couldn't. So first term, second term, third term, first throughout. And then, that time I realized that I wanted to be a scientist.
Okay.
And that the Sunyani Day Secondary School is a good school for business and arts, but not for science, because the lab there wasn't well equipped.
Okay.
So I had to go at another plan. So what I decided to do is to find myself into boarding school that is a good school, that I can pursue my science education to become a scientist. So I put together all these, my examination results from first year, first term to third year, second term, and then the third term results. And I posted them to my uncle in Accra, called Mr. Kwabena Mponsa. I know you're listening. He contributed immensely in my secondary education. I didn't know him. All I knew was that my father had a cousin in Accra called Mr. Kwabena Mponsa. And he was the CEO of Adwensa Press. Okay. You know, Adwensa has been writing series of books, school books and all that over the years. Yeah, he was the owner of that press. It still exists. And he read books for schools. So he sent, when he received the results, he was amazed. That first, and the first was just ordinary first. The grades and the averages were between 88 and 95 for consistently. So he realized that this is such a brilliant chap. I should bring him here immediately. So he sent my cousin immediately. He fetched me from Sunyani, brought me to Accra, and he asked me what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to go to boarding house and pursue science education. And he asked which school am I interested in? I said St. Augustine's College. Okay. Or Gasco. Okay. He said, I said, that is my dream school. Okay. Because when I was in primary school in Rapid, there was this English book that had the administration block of St. Augustine's College that we used to read. And I was inspired by what was written about the school, that it was one of the best secondary schools in Ghana, and is right at the beach at the Atlantic Ocean and all that. I said, I must be in this school. That's the one you have to go. That's the one I have to go. So I informed him I wanted to go to St. Augustine's College. He said, well, you are intelligent, so I believe, you can. So he drove me to Cape Coast by himself. And this is something I always tell him, I will appreciate what he did for me for life, because he transformed my life. He sent me to St. Augustine's College. Unfortunately, we didn't meet the headmaster. And apparently the headmaster was his friend. Oh, I see. Yes. So he knew him in person, but then we didn't meet him, so he left my results and a note for him. So when the headmaster, who is, because he's still alive, Mr. Luke Jesiapia, Augusto boys love him so much because he was really, really strong on us, that to learn and for us to become great men after school. So Mr. Jesiapia came, he saw my results and he was amazed. So he called him that he should bring me immediately. So I went, and then he said, to be able to get admission to St. Augustine's College after first year, you have to write an entrance examination, because they admit their first year students, they don't admit again until Form 3, when they write entrance examination for those who want to also join, and then they select the best, and then they admit them. The examination had already been written, and therefore I don't have a chance of being admitted. But because my results are really exceptional, he will give me an opportunity. And the opportunity is that he's going to admit me into Form 3. So he will repeat me in Form 3. I was coming from Form 3 in Sunyani Day Secondary School. Now the name of that school has changed. It's called Triamanfo Secondary School now. But as at the time, it used to be Sunyani Day Secondary School. So I said, you admit me into Form 3. I'll get admission to St. Augustine's College, even if you start me in Form 1. Form 1, I will still go. I will come. So he admitted me into Form 3. Once I'm going to sit right here at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean to study in St. Augustine's College and be an ABSU in future, I will come. So he repeated me in Form 3. Then Form 5, we wrote the GCE O-level, passed, and then I was admitted again to pursue sixth form education in St. Augustine's College again. We wrote the A-level, passed, and then I did my national service, and then entered the University of Ghana in 1992. So we wrote the O-level in 89. So I have a very strong APSU group, 89 group.
I can imagine.
Vibrant one. APSU guys. They are very, very strong and active and loud. Yeah, but so we wrote the A-level in 91, and then in 92, we entered the university of Ghana. So because I wanted to be a scientist, I chose biological sciences. So even though I had grades that could qualify me
to do medicine,
medicine, I said I wanted
to be a scientist.
To be a scientist. Actually, I wanted to be a food scientist.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard about the program and that you do, and it takes you to food processing industry, and then you work there, and so I was really.
But that's interesting because that's not typical of people who are drawn towards the sciences to say, I want to do food science.
Yes.
What was the attraction for you?
Yeah, because I knew about the program at the university, even before I started, that there's a program at the University of Ghana, food science, and that when you go through, it qualifies you to work in the industry as a manager. I mean, so that was what I was interested in, to either go to Nestle or Unilever after school and work at the managerial level. So all my attention. But I also thought, well, I'd like to teach. So, well, let's see. So I registered as a biological science student, and then usually after first year, you get selected into various departments. So there's a biochemistry department, there's a nutrition and food science department, there used to be zoology department, botany department, and all that.
I was
so
part of the zoology department initially,
in 95. Good. Yeah, so I got selected into food science, and then I said, this is where I wanted to be, and I'm happy to be here. So I did single major food science.
Wow.
Yeah, because I knew what I wanted, and I didn't want to combine nutrition or biochemistry or whatever. I did single major
food science.
Food science. But when I entered that department, I saw one man who really interested me.
Okay.
Because in 1993, when we entered, 94, we got selected. He became an associate professor. And he was a very young man. So I heard that there's a young man in that department who is an associate professor. And so I took my time to go to the department to look for him. I said, wow, I was amazed. So I said, I wanted to be like him.
Wow.
And that was Professor Samuel Sefadede.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the wife was Professor Mrs. Araba.
Yes, Sefadede.
Sefadede, who was at the medical school. Yeah. And Professor Sefadede became like my father, academic father, because then I went through the program, and then he became my undergraduate thesis supervisor. And then I passed, and then I got to the master's level. Master's 2, he became my supervisor. So he became like a father.
Okay.
But then when I was an undergraduate, I realized that I needed to pass well to get at least a second-class upper.
Okay.
To enable me obtain a University of Ghana scholarship that is meant for outstanding students who are given the opportunity to be mentored to be lecturers.
Okay.
Without that, because the undergraduate at that time were not paying fees. And if I don't pass well to get scholarship, there is no way at the master's level I'll be able to pursue, because I won't get anybody to pay my fees anyway. So I studied very, very hard. I studied hard. I did a lot of programs from the School of Administration.
Okay.
I didn't know why, because I knew if I go to work in the food industry, I need to know about management, administration,
things,
consumer behavior, marketing.
So
I did all those marketing, and my Prof Chancellor, Professor Hazen is watching. But I did marketing in first year at the University of Ghana. I did consumer behavior, I did entrepreneurship, I did production management, all these in the School of Administration as a food science student. So, God being so good, I got a second class upper, and I was automatically given the University of Ghana scholarship to pursue my master's at the University of Ghana. Then I worked under Professor Samuel Sefadede, and then from 1996 to 96, we finished the first degree. I worked there in the department for my national service. And then I continued with a master's.
So did you ever eventually go to your Unilever or any of the other places that you had been dreaming about?
No.
No,
because So when we were in level 400, then I realized that, well, I wanted to go to work in the food processing industry, but I also have a passion for teaching. And how do I achieve what I think will suit best for me? So I said, well, I wanted to teach. I wanted to remain at the university. So I informed my friends that O-level, they were just interested to finish, complete their first degree, get a BSc food science, and then go and work in the industry. But I said, no, I'm not going to work in the industry again. I pursue my master's. I want to live here, stay here, work here, eventually become the head of department, go to become the dean of the school, and become the vice chancellor of the University of Ghana. At that time, so, and my friends were like, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. I want to teach. I want to become a professor in this department. So I'm not going to industry. Eventually it happened.
Wow.
So once I got to know Professor Sefadede, and I found him as a mentor, so he supervised me first degree and then the master's. So soon after the master's, he had an international project that was being sponsored by University of Georgia in Atlanta, USA, and it was on legumes. Crisp bean copy project. So he employed me as a senior research officer on that project after my master's from 1999. So I finished, and amazingly, I finished my master's in exactly 2 years. And at the University of Ghana at that time, that is a record. And another record is that after my master's, when I submitted the 3 theses for examination, when the theses were examined and all the 3 theses were brought, none of the examiners put a pen onto any part. So I collected the 3 theses, immediately went to bind them into hard copies. And it had never happened in the university before. That was record that none of the examiners could find any error in your thesis.
That's amazing. Look, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left. I want us to talk about these awards you have here. And then let's talk about something that you like doing for fun. Is there any, do you do anything apart from the academics? Because there's a lot of academic work in your life.
Yeah, it's a lot because...
Let's talk about the awards first.
So let me talk a lot about the awards in relation to my university. Now. So for this award, it was given to me in 2019 for my contribution to the cocoa industry. Because my specialty area...
Of course, the food technology side of things.
So I decided to specialize in cocoa processing. When I went to do my PhD at the University of Strathclyde, had opportunity to work with Nestle in the UK, and I've written books. I've written
so you're also an author.
World-class books. And one of my books have been reviewed as the 5th best book in cocoa in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, this book.
Wow.
Chocolate, Science, and
Technology.
Wow. It's a heavy book, and it contains a lot of information.
That's amazing.
It's been reviewed and rated as the 5th best book in cocoa science in the world.
Wow.
And then I have other books.
As well.
I've written. So I've contributed a lot to the
cocoa industry.
Cocoa industry in Ghana, in the world. And then I was appointed as the president of GTUC, and then the vice chancellor. And as a vice chancellor, you have to pursue a vision. And my vision that I'm pursuing now is to transform the Ghana Communication Technology University into a world-class ICT university. And not just a world-class university, but the best ICT university in West Africa. So I've dubbed it the Silicon Valley Agenda. And I have great support from the chairman of my council, Professor Emeritus, Professor Kofi Awusa-Asare, who believes in me, believes in my vision. And just 3 years that we became a fully fledged university. If you enter the university 3 years ago and you come there now, you see great transformation in terms of environmental. So I've started winning awards already. So in 2022, I won a first award as the best CEO, like the best vice chancellor in Ghana at that time. And then in this year, I've won 2 awards. So there's an outstanding leadership award in education. And then there's another award, outstanding, the most transformational leader in education. Wow. I think that's this one.
That'll be that one there.
No. This one is another one. So
this one?
Yes.
That's this one here, the plaque here.
A winner of the 2023 Transformational Business Leadership Personality of the Year in Education.
Do you have any leisure in your life at all? Do you rest? Do you relax?
I relax. So due to my roles, being a vice chancellor and being a traditional leader, I'm very, very, very busy. And because I have a vision to transform this university, I work from morning till night. If you come there, I start work around 9, and I leave the office at 9 p.m. Almost every day. So if I have meetings, I'll attend the meetings, but I'm back in the office to work. At 9 p.m., I leave the office. So if there's anybody who can be termed as the most hardworking worker of the university, then nobody can beat me to it. But that has culminated into all these awards. Because over the past 3 years, we have really worked together with my staff. I have very good supporting staff, both academics and administrators, who believe in my vision and are providing every support that I need to ensure that the university is transformed. Just 3 years, we have received accreditation approvals to run different and varied different programs in the area of ICT that you can't find in any university in Ghana. So we have computer science, we have a diploma, we have a BSc, we have MSc, we have MPhil, we have PhD, computer science. We have cyber security. We have a diploma in cyber security. We have a BSc cyber security. We have diploma data science and analytics. And then we have BSc data science and analytics. We have diploma information technology. And then we have a BSc. Now we have a MSc. We have MPhil, and we have PhD information tech. And then we have computer engineering. Electricals and electronics engineering, telecom engineering, telecom management, software engineering, mobile computing. So for now, we are the best ICT university in Ghana. You can't get any such programs in any university, varied ICT programs in any university in Ghana. And we want to continue to transform the university to become the best ICT university in West Africa. That we will create the most vibrant technological hub in Ghana that will train experts in the area of ICT for the government's agenda in the area of digitization, digitalization, and virtualization.
What I want to ask to wrap up the conversation, you're a father, you're a husband.
Yes.
How did they manage with all this? You don't have time for anybody else.
Oh, I make time. So I make time. I work from Monday to Friday. I'm married to Ellen Ohene Afoakwa, who is also a banker. Of course, you plan your life, you know what you want to do, and you find who will support you alongside. So as a banker, she is also a very busy person. So we started myself as a lecturer, and she also as a risk officer. But now she used to be the corporate director for Absa Bank but she's now been even upgraded to a managing principal of Absa Bank, the whole Ghana.
Wow.
So I've become a big person, but she has also become a big career woman. And then we have 3 kids.
Yeah.
So we have 2 girls and 1 boy.
Amazing.
The 2 girls are both in Wesley girls.
Okay.
And then the boy is writing BSc next year,
Okay.
waiting to also go to St. Augustine's College.
That's right. Absolute tradition continues.
Must continue.
Yeah, yeah.
What we do is basically, because we are busy during the week, we do meet in the morning, we meet with the kids, we pray, eat together in the morning, and then they leave first, and then they go out. And then in the evening, I usually don't come early, but she does, so that she'll build the kids and ensure that everything is done. But on weekends, I stay at home. So on weekends, sometimes I won't even step out of my home. I stay in the house Saturday all day, and ensuring that the children looking at their works and all that, to ensure that they are working well and studying hard. Because there's one thing that I think people should learn from what I have become.
Tell us.
When I was in primary school, there was this rhyme that we learned that really, really encouraged me and gingered me. That the height that great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flights, but those whilst their companions slept were toiling upwards in the night.
Wow.
And that is the secret in life.
Please repeat that.
The height that great men
attained,
reached, and kept. So you don't just reach there, but you make sure that you sustain that height. Were not attained by sudden flights. So in other words, you were shot there overnight. But it took those whilst their companions were sleeping in the night, were toiling upwards in the night.
Were sleeping, they were
toiling upwards in the night. So that means that you have to cut down on your sleep and put those hours into active use by studying. And if
Prof,
there are children and young men and women watching me, I tell you, this is the secret in life, because I've done that for many decades. For about 20, 30 years of my life, I cut down on my sleep. I sleep around 11, by 4, I'm up. So there are many papers that I've written. I've written over 5 books, and I've written over 200 papers. It wasn't written overnight. Published papers.
Wow, Prof.
It's out of hard work.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank Professor Sifadede very, very much, because he mentored me into leadership. There was one thing he taught me, that wherever you find yourself and whatever you are given, you look at how to identify solutions to every problem, but not to lament and outline
make excuses and
the problem and make excuses out of them.
Thank you.
And that really went into my head. So wherever I found myself, irrespective of whatever the place is, when I was head of department, you go there and see, I transformed the department with solutions. There were issues in the department, and I fixed it. Whilst I'm here, I know I have a good vision for our institution, and it will be transformed to be the Silicon Valley of Ghana.
Thank you very much. Prof, I wish we had more time. There's so much more to talk about, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, so our personality for today has been Professor Emmanuel Ohene Afoakwa. He is the Vice Chancellor of Ghana Communication Technology University, also the Chief of FIAPRE as well.